All right, here we go. John Tsai, welcome. The
Thank you for
incredible.
having me.
Gosh, I've known you for how long now, John?
I guess it would have been since 2011 in San Diego. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
2011. So, just so people know, John Tsai is a legend in real estate. He is the founder of the Align Group, and you being the president of EXP Canada. You've been in the top 1% of realtors since the beginning of time.
I wish. I wish. But yes, we've been there. Yeah.
You have a coaching club for realtors, like
Yes.
coaching program. Yeah.
Yes.
You do a lot of coaching. You've done public speaking. You inspire thousands of people. So needless to say, you know a lot about the real estate industry and the real estate market.
Yes.
You
Well, I would say this. I'm in it. We're real estate agents, so we study the market day after day after day. Through years, you just seen some trends, and history tends to repeat itself. You can see kind of what's coming. Obviously, we're not fortune tellers,
yeah,
but because of experience that we have, we are able to advise our clients based on what we see.
yeah.
So,
So I'm writing a newsletter and it's about downsizers and upsizers. And I'm having, it's first of all, when you think of a market that we're in, it's a tough time for downsizers, but it's actually a great opportunity for downsizers.
mhm.
And and for upsizers, it's an even better opportunity.
Best opportunity actually right now.
So before we talk about the upsizers, let's just talk about downsizers for a minute. So, what are your thoughts for people that are wanting to downsize right now?
What we hear all the time is like, I want to maximize my home. They've been there 30 years,
Mhm.
and most of the time they have very little mortgage or mortgage free. So, this is their last sort of, something that the biggest asset that they can cash out on. So, of course, you want to maximize it. Now, a lot of times we have to really ask them questions such as, what's important about actually downsizing for you? If it's solely money driven, then you can wait,
Mhm.
right? And we're not here to push anybody to sell or not. We're here to advise them based on what the market is telling us and what the client is looking to achieve, and by what time or when they want to achieve it by. So once we know what they want to achieve and when they want to achieve it by, then we look at where the market is at. If the
Yeah.
market matches up and aligns with their goals, I think it's time to take action, right?
Well, and we've been telling people, well, the market's going to get better, the market's going to get better. I've been telling people this for 3 years now.
Yeah, again, we're not fortune tellers, but what we can see right now is that is for the last 3 years, Mark, that prices haven't really gone down. All those sales have gone down 30 to 40% across the board.
Yeah.
So are
Year
we
after
gonna
year.
Yeah. Yeah. So then the thing is, for downsizers, you're really maximizing for the last 5 to 6 years. This is the peak that we've seen, and it's starting to come down a bit. And we
Oh,
know
yeah.
it's starting to come down. We've already hit the peak. So we're still near peak, but it's starting to come down. So what I would say to clients is that we're at the peak. Sales numbers are low, but the prices haven't come down. So it's still a good time to cash out for you.
Well, and the thing is like now I'm telling people you might have to wait 3 years before we start seeing prices go up again.
In a big way, like 5 to 10% or twenty
Yeah.
percent increases. It's not. It's we haven't seen that, right? So
You know,
I actually agree with you that it's probably going to be 26, 27, if not 28, that we start to see some of that uptick again in a big way.
and for someone who's say 70 years old 3 years ago, now they're 73, and 3 years from now they're going to be 76. Well, life gets shorter and shorter as it goes on.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some of these people that might be holding on are compromising their lifestyle. They're not, the big thing that I get from people that want to downsize is community. They want to
Yeah,
be near other people.
right.
They want to be able to do things. They want to be able to help their family.
It's really about lifestyle at the end of the day. And then, helping family. I know my mom already took out, hundreds of thousands of dollars for her kids and her grandkids. So the equity is already being used.
Mhm.
Now, when that equity will still be tax free, we don't know how long. Because,
Good point.
especially in BC and in Canada, they may be taking away the opportunity of tax free equity on your primary residence. So, how long is that going to last?
That's a really good point because I was talking to a banker yesterday and they mentioned that, our principal residence could get taxed.
Yes.
So,
So, this is, I
imagine
mean,
you're waiting for that lift, you're waiting, nothing happens, you're old, and now you can't do what you want to do and you're getting taxed.
it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars that you could be losing by waiting until that comes into place.
Yeah.
So again, these are only the things that we can advise based on what we know. But ultimately, it's up to them to make a decision on whether or not this is a lifestyle change that they're willing to make. Are they willing to go through the pain and hassle of moving? Right? Which pain is greater? The hassle of moving or the stairs or the yard? Don't want to clean up anymore. Want to really get close to my kids. I'm 50 minutes away from my kids. They never come to visit me. Is there enough pain there versus, oh, I'm willing to give up my equity? So which one is more painful?
That's right. And I've gone into lots and I mean, I'm still very, very active going into these houses, meeting people.
Mm.
And I see a lot of, I see a lot of places where like they got a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of clearing out. And the older you get, the harder it is to clear that stuff out. And then because I've seen people where they are thinking about making a move, and then 3 years pass by, and it's going to be really hard for them to make that move. They're not going to be able to do what they want to do.
Hmm. Yeah, that's tough. And that's
It
what
is.
we're here for as real estate agents, to connect them with the right people to actually help them through the process of decluttering, cleaning up, sprucing the place up, getting it ready for sale. We take care of the whole process to get it ready.
Yeah.
So, we help the clients make sure that it's not going to be headache free. We make it as least amount of headaches as possible and stress free as possible to make this move comfortable, right? Because, after 30 years, they got a ton of stuff they want to clean up, but they don't want to do it themselves. So we're here to help them.
Yeah. So I mean, either do it now or your kids are going to be doing it later.
Exactly.
So now, we've got a transfer of wealth, right? And people are able to help their kids get into the market. I'm not seeing a lot of first time home buyers right now, but I'm seeing a lot of move up buyers.
Yes. That's it.
And so what I'm seeing is, okay, well, the parents are selling their place. There's a lot and if someone bought a place in the 80s, whether it's in Coquitlam, Burnaby, East Side, West Side, Vancouver, there's a lot of equity.
Yeah.
And it's a great time for people in their 30s, 40s to move up. They're getting a little bit of help from their family. Um, Tell us about the opportunities right now for move up buyers, because this is tremendous time right now for that.
Yeah, and this happened actually in 2019 last when the market dipped a little bit, 18, 19, and then obviously COVID turbocharged the market artificially, I would say, because of the interest rates dropped. But if that didn't happen, we were seeing move up buyers win in a big way because prices were going down. Let's just say even 5%. If you're selling $1 million home, you're like, I want $1 million, but right now I can only get 950, 940 because of the 5% drop in the market. But they're actually moving up to a market where, they're doubling their mortgage, they're doubling their price point to go from a townhouse to a $2 million home. let's say, in East Vancouver or detached in Vancouver West, right?
Yeah.
And back then it was about $2 million. So let's just say the same 5% drop in a $2 million home is $100,000. Let's just say,
Yeah.
right? So for example, a $2 million home, you would get it at 1.9. That
Mhm.
means that by losing, you think you're losing the 50 grand from selling your $1 million home. You're actually making it up by purchasing a bigger price point. And here's 100,000 that you gain. You lost 50,000, but 100 minus 50,000, you're still in the delta making positive cash flow $50,000.
Yeah.
And I could crunch it all over the place where, you obviously you have to identify opportunities where there are some colder pockets where we can negotiate a little bit harder. Then the delta is even bigger,
Oh yeah.
right?
I-
So it's actually hotter in the smaller price points, and then it's a lot colder in the bigger price points. So in fact, that delta may be even 150,000. So when
You
they
know,
realize that, they say, you know what? Why don't we take a look at what we can sell for and what we can actually buy? If it all makes sense, I can find my dream home and the numbers make sense, and I'm satisfied with my sale price. Let's do this move. It seems like it's the best time for upsizers.
absolutely. And I'm seeing where people can actually save 200 to 300,000 right now.
Wow, there we go. There we go. Yeah.
And the other thing is, this isn't the basement suites aren't as popular as they used to be. I'm finding a lot of buyers are not wanting to have basement suites, but I tell you,
Hmm.
that paid my mortgage for a long time. It helped me
Yeah.
move up. And so can you imagine you sell your condo for $1 million and you're buying a house for 2 million. You got lots of equity, you get a little bit of help from family, and now you
Yep.
have a basement suite giving you $2,000 a month. That $2,000 a month is a $200,000 mortgage.
Exactly. So it really helps you build equity when you have that mortgage helper. A lot of people don't want that, so they're willing to carry a heavier mortgage. And
Yeah.
what I've seen a lot of people do actually, Mark, is the parents are downsizing. So they sell their 30-year-old, they've been there 30 years. They sell that
Yeah.
house, and then the kids are selling their townhome, and they're combining the equity to buy a house with a basement suite and the laneway,
Mhm.
and the parents are living in the laneway. They rent out the basement, and the kids live in the main house. So that's a way to hack everything and combine equity to really make it less of a burden on the kids to carry that big mortgage. I've seen that a lot recently.
Well, generational living.
Yeah.
I see a lot of it in Langley where you've got one main house and then you have another 1,200 square foot house
Yeah.
that the parents go into.
Hmm.
You see it in Burnaby with a lot of these larger houses.
Yeah.
You see a little bit of it in Vancouver, but not as much.
Hmm. Hmm. Now that Burnaby has, they allow laneways about a year and a half ago, I'm seeing it more and more. And the laneways looks just as big as the main house almost, right?
Yeah.
So it's like another dwelling altogether, and people don't feel like, it's like a laneway home. Doesn't feel like a laneway home anymore. So,
Well, I just sold a house and it had I think it was like an 850 square foot laneway home on one level. And it one level, so it didn't have the stairs or anything. It was perfect for that.
wow.
And that was on East 35th, and that sold for I think it was listed for 199. It sold for 199 or something like that.
I haven't seen that one level. That's great.
And yeah, and so you're starting, and then with the higher density with laneways, right? You can do higher density now with them. You're
Mm,
starting to see, yeah, you can get really nice one level laneway homes, 800 square feet, 1,200 square feet. And yeah, it's like the size of the house.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're solving the pain of the parents, not looking to have stairs anymore.
Yeah.
and you're taking of them financially. They're cashing out of their big home, going into a smaller home, no longer have a mortgage, and help your kids pay off their big mortgage to shrink their mortgage or completely pay it off.
The other thing that people can do is, they can put the money into the market, into the stock market with a good advisor. I've done very well with that over the years. And even
Mm,
this year with the turmoil, I'm still doing quite well.
mm.
And I mean, before, like my thought always with real estate is just have real estate, hold real estate, rent it out. That's more difficult now with all the rental laws and everything. Why not put it in with a good investor and make a good return and
Yeah,
not
real
have to
estate
worry?
is, buy real estate and then wait. It's not wait to buy real estate. So if you have the capacity to buy real estate, always hold some real estate as
Yeah,
long as it's not, I've seen a lot of people comfortable with a couple $100, $500 even negative cash flow, but they're okay with building equity that way. But if it
hmm,
goes to 1,000, 2,000, they're like, then this doesn't make sense. So it
yeah,
has to make sense cash flow wise to hold equity. In Vancouver, it's really tough, as you know, to cash flow in a big way.
yeah.
We're more of a capital appreciation market, right? So if the opportunities right now to get into the market when it hasn't gone like this, right? To hold real estate. And then, like we just talked about in the beginning of the call, is that 26, 27, 28, we're going to see those double digit gains again. So now is the opportunity.
When do you think you're going to see more people coming from overseas with money? When do you think that's going to happen?
Well, here's the thing. Like right now, I'm already seeing pent up demand because people do want to purchase. And I'm seeing people who have the money are giving it to, because we have a foreign buyer ban until
Yeah,
2027, right?
yeah,
And they're already giving it to their friends and family who are PRs to help them purchase, right? So
mhm,
it's in fact not even their own money, but they're helping their kids or their
yeah.
friend utilizing that, utilizing the PR or their citizenship to purchase. So once the foreign buyer ban opens up, there's going to be a ton more people coming into the market.
So do you think mainland China is going to start buying again?
That I cannot say because there's so much uncertainty within, the economic sentiment between the U.S. and China, and then it harder to get money out of China ever since 2018 as well. So that I'm not too clear on. But what I can see is that not only China, but all over the world, people are looking to invest in Vancouver. But right now, we have a foreign buyer ban.
Yeah. What about Taiwan? What do you think?
Taiwan, even worse, right? So people are moving out of Taiwan because of political climate as well. But getting money out is also tough
Yeah,
to get out of Taiwan. But people are moving back from Taiwan because of the political climate and also education.
yeah,
Because I'm Taiwanese, I
yeah,
stayed there until I was 11 years old. Kids have school and then they have school after school. And then they have tutor after school.
well,
So when they come over here, it's a lot easier for the kids to learn and actually have a life. There's not a lot of stress. So a lot of my friends who came here with me in
yeah,
the early 90s, they moved back to make money, to work. And now that they have built enough of a nest egg or a business, they're actually shipping their kids back to Vancouver
mhm.
because education is a lot easier on them. So I'm seeing that influx back. So if they sold back in the late 90s when they went back to Taiwan, they're having to buy again. But a lot of times their mom and dad, grandpa, grandma, are still
Yeah,
here, didn't sell,
yeah.
right? So they're pulling the equity out to help their kids, just like what we talked about. So
Interesting.
yeah,
A couple years ago, it was 2 years ago, I saw a lot of people coming in from Hong Kong. And these people are in their 50s. They graduated in Vancouver from school, went to university, and then or went to university in the States, or ended up back in Hong Kong working
yep,
for the family business. And now it's time to, cash out. They're coming back here.
yep.
And now with that foreign investment, or they're not really affected by that foreign buyers ban. because they got their Canadian
They're
residency.
still citizen. Yeah, even though they're
Yeah.
non-resident, they can still purchase.
So really interesting stuff. Now, um, we've talked about all this. What advice do you have for agents? How can you make money in this market? Working with people downsizing and I'll share too after you and people upsizing. What are your recommendations?
Well, in any sort of market, either downsizing, upgrading, or first-time home buyer, for real estate agents is always it comes down to if you're willing to work or not,
Yeah,
right? The opportunity, we know where the opportunity is. We have already identified them. There's more upsizing than downsizing right now. So look for those people who have a life change. Are they expecting another child, right? Or a lot of times, actually, this is not good news, but a lot of divorces,
yeah,
right? So when I ask agents to go out there and ask questions for their friends and families, who's expecting a life change that they may be looking at real estate, or if they have any plans on real estate that I may be able to help answer any questions on.
mhm,
That's the opportunity. But at the end of the day, it's just talking to people. You and I know if you talk
yeah,
to more people, you're going to make sales. And I advise new agents coming in, if you want to do this like a hit and run, don't do it
no,
in 2020, 2021. You may be able to come in and make a couple hundred K, and the market got tough, you can get out.
yeah,
But if you are here for the long haul and this is your forever career, this is the best opportunity because you get to learn a real way. You need to know how to sell, need market knowledge. You need a great mentor. But if you get all those things, that's the recipe right there. You can succeed. And when the market comes back, that's when you make the real money. But
you
right now is
sure
where you learn.
you sure do. And asking questions, what I've learned, because I mean I'm actually selling a lot of real estate right now, more so than last year, and the market's tougher this year, right? I would
Yes,
say than last year. Is I'm going deeper. So I'm asking questions and then I'm going deeper. And it's like unwrapping an onion,
yeah,
layer by layer. I'm finding the motivation and it's helping people. So the more value you offer, the more sales you're going to make.
correct.
And we
Correct.
just have to find those people that we can help.
Exactly. And we just role played this morning. And the first question that real estate agents can ask their clients or potential clients is like, uh, what's, what's causing you to think about this change? How would that affect your life? And if you were to make this move, how would that improve your lifestyle? Ultimately, if you got into the home, what would that do for you? So that's like 4 layers deep already.
Yeah,
Tell me more about that. Tell me more about this move, how it's going to change your life. Right? It's more about what they're trying to achieve rather than just money.
yeah,
Rarely do people move for just money. We've seen a lot of those back in 2021 and 2020 because it was going like this. So if I can show you that you can actually get 500K more in this market, would you do it? People are just solely motivated by money. Now it's looking for motivation. And now it's looking for what they're trying to achieve. Like you said, digging deeper with people, finding out what they really want instead of, okay, you want this price? Okay, I think I can get it. Let's go. No, no, no.
yeah.
That's not service. That's not even
No,
understanding your client. Then you're just a robot. You're going to be replaced by AI. It's
yeah,
really empathizing with your clients, and true customer service is really finding out what they need and delivering that.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and by doing that, you earn the business, you provide value, and guess what happens when you provide value?
You get referrals, you get a client for life. So it's either you're doing a deal you can hit and run, or you've earned a real client for life. So going out there providing excellent customer service and value, you want to earn a client for life. Well, I heard this. We should never call them past clients because they're clients for life.
Yeah,
And if you're not calling your past client, if you're not calling your clients right now, you're making a big mistake because 86% of them are actually thinking about working with somebody else because we don't keep in touch with them. Somebody's calling them. It better
it's
be you.
amazing. And even if you like, I was talking to someone, I didn't talk to her for 6 months. And every time I'd call her every 6 months, oh no, no, I'm not never gonna sell, never gonna sell. Next thing you know, I get a call on one of my listings and it's her.
Oh,
And, and then I find out she's working with a realtor.
wow.
I mean, I had to save that one. I ended up, getting her back on board.
Right.
But I tell you, some of these people, you got to call more than every 6 months. You got to call
Yes.
them lots.
Absolutely. Wow, that's such a great example. Exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't
Yeah.
reach out to them on a quarterly basis, you're not doing your business a service. Like you're doing a disservice to yourself and a disservice to your clients because they need you, especially in this uncertain market where people are having a lot of questions about the market. What should I do, John? Should I hold on or should I sell? Should I buy now or should I wait? These are the questions that you are there as a guide for them for.
Oh, that's awesome. John, you're amazing. I mean, for being a mentor, all these realtors just to listen to you is a great opportunity.
Thank
So
you.
thank you
Thank you.
for coming on to my Zoom. I think people are going to be really excited, and I've got another meeting with you later on this afternoon.
Yes,
So,
sir. We're gonna switch it around and me interviewing you, but for the listeners on this podcast or this YouTube, Mark has been an amazing mentor of mine since 2011, and even before that, I saw his name for about 5 to 6 years. Just dominating the Vancouver West area. Mark's been in real estate for 30 years, and I have utmost respect for you, Mark, and thank you for all your mentorship and support over the years. I appreciate you.
well, I appreciate you. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.